This video is presented by the EA Creator Network. A special thanks to EA for giving me early access so that I can capture this footage for everyone. This opportunity right here is literally the reason why I became a content creator in the first place. I'm beyond humbled. Once again, thank you, EA. Also, do remember, everything you're going to see here was captured on a work in progress build. Anything that is being shown on this video is subject to change. I asked ChatGPT to predict the next 10 college football playoff champions from now to 2034. What if AI could predict the next 10 college football playoff champions? For every single prediction, we will be simulating the corresponding season here in EA Sports College Football 26. Does ChatGPT know ball, or will the unpredictability of college football strike again? So for the first season here in 2025, ChatGPT predicts that the Texas Longhorns will hoist the trophy. So heading into conference championship week, it doesn't look like Texas is even going to be in the mix. They're sitting at 8-4, number 18 in the nation currently, and they will not be playing in the SEC chip. Here's a look at the college bracket going into the conference championship game. Michigan, number 1, number 2, Florida, number 3, Penn State, number 4, Texas Tech. Then we got Bama versus Liberty, Oregon versus Georgia, Ohio State versus Clemson, and Miami versus Duke. All right, so the very first Heisman in the very first season is going to be Cade Klubnik of Clemson. In the official CFP bracket, Clemson with the bye, Florida at number 2, Texas Tech moves up to 3, Clemson at 4, Bama versus Liberty, Miami versus Duke, Ohio State versus Penn State, and Georgia versus Oregon. So heading to the second round, Bama beats Liberty, Duke beats Miami, Ohio State loses to Penn State, and Georgia beats Oregon. So in our quarterfinal, we got Bama versus Clemson, Duke versus Michigan, Penn State versus Texas Tech, Georgia versus Florida. So here in the first of the final 4 games, Florida handles business here against Penn State. They easily win this one 27-10, and they have punched their ticket into the championship. Here in game number 2, more of the same. Michigan blanks Clemson 16-0. They easily win this one, and they also punch their ticket to the Natty, and they will be taking on the Florida Gators. So our first Natty is set, boys. Florida taking on Michigan. Already we can say that ChatGPT's prediction is busted, but let's head into this one, and hopefully we can get a barn burner. So with under 3 minutes left in this one, boys, DJ Lagway is trying to get this Florida Gators team down the field to punch it into the end zone here. They definitely need to score and then go for 2. And he throws a pick on his very first pass, and that ball's going back to the Wolverines. So the Gators get the ball back here. The Wolverines turn it over here in the red zone instead of just taking a 3 for whatever reason. Lagway throws a quick pass, but that's going nowhere. They have no timeouts. All right, 30 seconds left here. The clock is ticking down. Lagway poised in the pocket, and that's going to be another pick. This time it's off a tip drill. Victory formation is taken, and this one is over. The Wolverines are the 2025 national champions. This is their second in 3 years if we go based off of what happened in real life. This was a 1 versus 2 game, and it came down to a couple last drives, but DJ Lagway and his offense just couldn't get it done. Now, as we prep for season 2, let's take a look at what ChatGPT's prediction is for 2026. So ChatGPT has the Georgia Bulldogs winning. Now, heading into conference championship week, Georgia is in the mix, sitting at number 9. Now, they won't be playing in the SEC chip. That's going to be Auburn and Florida, but they should definitely have a chance to play for that title that ChatGPT predicts. Now, the Heisman winner this year in season number 2 is going to be Rocco Beck of Tennessee. 4,500 yards, 37 passing touchdowns, 72% completion percentage. It's kind of crazy. In the college football bracket this year is going to be Auburn at number 1, UCLA at number 2, number 3 is Texas Tech again, number 4 is Florida, Southern Miss versus Duke in the first round, Tennessee versus Georgia, Clemson versus Oklahoma, Michigan versus SMU. So here in round number 2, we got Duke versus Florida, Georgia versus Auburn, Clemson versus Texas Tech, Michigan versus UCLA. And here in this one, boys, Auburn was just too much for UGA, and ChatGPT is wrong once again. 0 for 2 so far in this sim. Let's go ahead and take a look and see who's going to be our champion here in season number 2. And surprise, surprise, we have UCLA taking on Duke in the Natty. Duke beat Florida. Clemson beat Texas Tech. UCLA beat Michigan. Then they beat Clemson, and Duke handled Auburn with ease, 31-14. And here in this unlikely Natty number 2, Duke is going to hoist the trophy, bruh. I did not see this coming whatsoever. We have not really been able to jump into any games. None of these games have been close enough for us to jump in and watch the computer play, man. But pretty boring, Natty, 13-0. But the Duke Blue Devils get the job done here, moving on to season number 3. Now, heading into season number 3, ChatGPT predicts that the Ohio State Buckeyes will win the national championship. So off rip here in conference championship week, as you can see here, Ohio State had a very, very disappointing season. 94s across the board, but they go 7-5 and only 5-4 in conference. Heisman winner here for season number 3 is going to be Clemson's quarterback Christopher Viziano. 4,400 yards, 44 touchdowns, 68% completion percentage. And our college football playoff is going to be Miami as the number 1 seed, LSU is the number 2, Georgia number 3, SMU makes it as a 4 seed, even with an at-large bid also being in the ACC. At the 5 seed, we got Notre Dame taking on North Texas. 6 seed, Washington taking on Texas Tech. 7 seed, Boston College going to be taking on the Oregon Ducks. And then we got number 8, USC taking on number 9, Bama. And take a look at how the college football playoffs shaped out all the way to the Natty. North Texas, of course, lost to Notre Dame. Bama beats USC. Texas Tech loses to Washington State. Texas Tech has been in the CFP all 3 years. Oregon beats Boston College. Then they lose to LSU. Georgia beats Washington. Miami loses to Bama. SMU gets blown out by Notre Dame. Notre Dame loses by 10 to Bama. Georgia beats LSU by 16. And now we got a very, very typical Georgia-Alabama natty. A 3 seed versus a 9 seed. This should be a good one. Every single game has been a landslide so far. Bama easily wins this natty 13-0. Another shutout in the natty. Another game we don't jump into. But yet again, another season, ChatGPT gets it wrong, boys. They're 0-3, man. Can they fight back? Can they shape up? Can they get it together? But nonetheless, I'm having a blast simming through these seasons, man. But doesn't look like AI is as all-knowing as they believe they are. So next up on the list, boys, here in season 4, ChatGPT thinks that Oregon is going to be our next champions. So here in conference championship week, the Oregon Ducks are looking at a bye right now. They do play USC, who is the number 2 team in the Big Ten championship. So Oregon should be a lock for the CFP. But right now we got Texas, USC, Clemson, Oregon as your buys. Then we got North Carolina taking on NIU, Wisconsin taking on Bama, Texas Tech here for yet another year taking on Notre Dame, and then Colorado finally making their way into the CFP along with Oklahoma. So Oregon gets the job done, boys. They are going to be Big Ten champs. And this year, for the first time in Sim, we get a non-quarterback Heisman. It's going to be Lawrence Kimball, wide receiver out of Bama. 93 catches, 1,700 yards, 20 tubs. Oregon gets the first round bye as the 2 seed. Final 4 seeds, Clemson, Oregon, Oklahoma, Texas. North Carolina is playing Wisconsin. Notre Dame is back playing UCLA. Bama versus Texas Tech. And then USC taking on Northern Illinois. So the trend continues for non-competitive games of teams that we super sim, man. But the Oregon Ducks get the job done here in the second round. 24-7, they're moving on to the Final 4. All right, boys, so another game and another one that we don't have to jump into. Oregon had the ball late. They ended up just running out the rest of the clock, and they punched their ticket to the Natty for the very first time in this sim. ChatGPT at least gets one of the teams right that's going to be in the national championship. Now can Oregon fulfill that prophecy? So the table is set here in season number 4. Clemson bumps off USC in the semifinal. We got the 1 versus 2 seed. Can Oregon get the job done? So even though this one is over, man, we're going to jump into it. Oregon fulfills its destiny, and they get ChatGPT on the board, man. 1 for 3 here in these natty games, and they are going to come out here and get it done. All right, man, the cutscene didn't play, but Oregon gets the job done. You guys seen it out there. Congratulations, they are the national champions. Let's see who ChatGPT guesses will be the champ here in season number 5. All right, boys, so season 1, L. Season 2, L. Season 3, L. Season 4, we're finally on the board. Now, ChatGPT in season 5 has Clemson winning it all. They're not that far away. They got blown out in this game versus Oregon, but I think they got the team that can get back to the promised land. Because if I'm not mistaken, they've won a couple of Heisman so far here as well. All right, boys, so the end of season number 5, we continue the trend of a non-quarterback Heisman. Gerald Bellinger, 119 catches, 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns. He went crazy, I can't lie. Take a look at the college football playoff bracket here. Ohio State, Clemson, Duke, Oregon are going to be your buys. USC versus Notre Dame. Texas Tech is back for the 5th straight year versus Auburn. Wisconsin versus Miami. And FAU as a 10 seed taking on Florida State. So we got a good old-fashioned ACC matchup here in the quarterfinal. Clemson taking on Florida State. Clemson punches their ticket to the Final Four, beating Florida State by 3, 35-32. The ACC matchup continues, taking on Duke. It would have still continued had they taken on Miami. Ohio State gets beat by 30 to Auburn. And USC beats the brakes off of the defending champs, the Oregon Ducks. All right, boys, we finally got a game worth jumping into, man. 24-17, Clemson is down. 6:20 left here in this 4th quarter. More than enough time left. Let's see what the boys can do. It's a handoff up the middle. He's going to get a good chunk of yards, picking 5. We got trips on the right-hand side now. Back to pass. Got a guy right down the seams. That's going to be a first down. One at running back, one at tight end, a couple on the line. But then the big-time players for Duke get a big TFL there. All right, 24-17. It's going to be a read option. The quarterback keeps it, picks up a few. He's going to bring up a 3rd and long here, 3rd and 7. But it is raining out here, so it's not going to be an easy chip shot kick. But it is going to be an easy chip shot throw. Touchdown Clemson. They're an extra point away from tying this thing up. All right, boys, Duke goes down with ease here. They put up 3. 1:07 left. One timeout here left for Clemson. And they got down the field pretty easily their last drive, and they're going to take a shot here, and that one's going to be picked off on the very first play. And Duke is just a first down away from winning this ball game. That's going to do it here in the Rose Bowl, boys. Duke gets the upset victory. I mean, 3 versus 2, but it's still an upset nonetheless. Clemson was the favorites to win it this year, man. But Duke, who has already won a natty here in this universe, is looking to get their 2nd one. All right, boys, 2 minutes left in this natty. USC is down 5. They got the rock. They have 2 timeouts. Can they make a play here and ultimately take the lead in this game? They do pick up 8 there with a run from Gabe Waddle. All right, 3rd and 1 here. They're going to try to hand this one off. The running back gets to the outside. He makes a man miss, and he's going to run out of bounds, picking up the first at the pass. Great protection. Hits his running back out of the backfield. He picks up another first down. 1:22 left here. Again, USC has 2 timeouts. Duke has all of them. And what a bad sack there by the USC quarterback. In the call in from the sidelines here. Quarterback back to pass. Good pocket. He's going to hit his running back on a wheel route. What a play call. That's going to make the 4th down so much more manageable. Quarterback's back to pass again. They only bring 4, and he's going to easily hit his tight end over the middle. Who breaks the tackle. First down, USC. You know what I mean? So that's definitely working in their favor, but, you know, they don't have to take a shot to the end zone, and they're lucky that one's not picked off. Once again, a 4th down for USC. Can they pick it up? They've already picked up one on this drive. We got a man in motion here on the outside. They're going to run a toss. 52 is the lead blocker on the pull. Do they give him the spot? They do not. They're going to say Duke stops him, and that is going to be the ball game. And the Duke Blue Devils are going to be national champions once again in this universe. What a turnaround for a program like Duke, who ain't never won nothing in football, but they got 2 natties here in college football 26. Insane. Here heading into season number 6, ChatGPT thinks that this is the year that the Penn State Nittany Lions win a natty. It says they're going to be balanced. They got Big Ten depth and talent. All right, boys, here in season number 6, the trend continues. 3 wide receivers in a row win the Heisman, 125 catches, 1,800 yards, 19 touchdowns. That means Ohio State had to be going crazy this year. Unfortunately, Penn State did only go 9-3 this season. They're going to be playing in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. They're number 23 in the nation, 6-3 in conference, but that's not enough to make the CFP. So this season in the Natty is going to be Oregon taking on Texas. 2 teams that ChatGPT predicted to win Natties in this sim. Oregon is the only one that got ChatGPT's prediction correct. Texas was nowhere close in the first season, but they're looking for redemption here in the 4 versus 10 matchup. So another natty, another dominating performance by the winning team, and Oregon wins their 2nd natty here in the sim. So Oregon and Duke are the 2 teams to win multiple natties, and I can't say I'm really that surprised, you know what I'm saying, with a team like Oregon and Texas being in the game, or Oregon winning this game, but ChatGPT is getting they behinds whipped right now. So here in season number 7 is where we get our first curveball. ChatGPT seems to think that SMU has a chance to win a natty. It says the Mustangs' ascension and coach stability. Now, they did make the CFP here. in our universe. They've also made it in real life in the first 12-team playoff. I just don't know if they have what it takes to get it done in the EA Sports universe. So Clemson wins yet another Heisman and another insane wide receiver season. I'm starting to see, the trend isn't dying. 105 catches, 1,700 yards, 19 tubs. Now, this is the one I've probably seen coming the most. A lot of disappointment. No SMU to be found in the CFP. And as you can see here, they finished towards the bottom of the ACC. 6-6 total, 3-5 in conference. They never had a chance. So this year in the Natty is going to see Duke there once again. And this time they took the hard way. They had to play a first-round game. They beat a team that got a bye. They beat the #1 seed. And now they're going to be taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide in a chip. Chat, this is absolutely insane. The Duke Blue Devils win yet another Natty, bro. And dare I say, this is back-to-back, right? This is their second Natty in a row. 3 Natties in 7 seasons, bro. ChatGPT may have gotten it wrong, but does EA Sports know something that we don't know? Now here heading into season number 8, we're going the more traditional route. ChatGPT seems to think that this is going to be the year that Notre Dame gets it done. One thing we already know that helps Notre Dame every single year, they have that independent schedule. So we finally get back to the quarterback fold, and we have one win the Heisman. Terrell Sims threw for nearly 6,000 yards, 60 touchdowns, with a 67% completion percentage. So it's safe to say Notre Dame let us down big time. They went 7-5. They're 94s across the board. I'm not understanding why these teams that have such a good roster are underperforming. This is getting insane, chat. I don't know what else to do. No. Duke is back in the Natty, bruh, and they will be taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, man. They got to bye this year, bruh. They beat SMU, they beat Clemson, and now they got to take on the Bulldogs. I mean, can the Bulldogs in this dynasty that has become the Duke Blue Devils? All right, boys, so UGA is down 6 here. All their timeouts, and Duke, dog, if they win this game, this would be 3 Natties in a row, 4 total in a matter of 8 seasons, bro. But I mean, does Duke have the magic pill? Are they the answer for like one of the greatest rebuilds for somebody to do? Is Georgia gets a great run there, get to the 45-yard line. All right, boys, 148 left here. They go to play action. He's taking a shot deep, and oh my goodness, it was almost brought down. What a play through the ball by the DB. All right, boys, here we go. 4th and 5 for the ball game. UGA nearly takes a bad sack, but it's going to be even worse. A pick instead, and Duke is going to win possibly Natty number 3. UGA does have 3 timeouts. This game is not over yet, boys, but boy, oh boy, does it look more and more grim for this UGA squad, especially if Duke gets the first down here as they use timeout number 1. The Duke Blue Devils are really one of them ones, chat. I don't even know how to process this. Is actually insane, man. And UGA is going to stuff the run there, bring it up at 3rd and 4. All right, guys, 16-10 here. Duke goes with another run, and that's going to be the ball game. They pick up the first on a 3rd and 4. Victory formation here for the Duke Blue Devils, boys, and they ever winning 3 Natties in a row, chat. Like, that's insane. Like, comment down below right now if any of you thought Duke could possibly become what they have become in this universe. All right, boys, so we get as traditional as possible here in season number 9's prediction. I feel like it's a cop-out. ChatGPT has the Alabama Crimson Tide winning. Even ChatGPT has an SEC bias. Here in season 9, we're back on the wide receiver Heisman wave. Terrence Egan of UGA, 106 catches, 1,600 yards, 20 touchdowns. And yet another prediction misses the mark. Bama goes 9-3, 5-3 in conference, and they will be missing the CFP. So for the first time in a long time, Duke won't be in the national championship, but also a long time coming, we got Texas Tech in the Natty. They've made the college football playoffs literally 9 seasons straight. Let's see if they can put it all together and get a dub. So Texas Tech got here, boys, but they couldn't get it done. UGA wins the Natty here in season number 9. I'm pretty sure this is Georgia's first win here in the sim. Now it's time for that 10th and final season. Let's see who ChatGPT thinks can win it all. So here in the 10th and final season, boys, ChatGPT seems to think that the Oklahoma Sooners are going to get it done. They've only gotten one right here so far in this video. It was here with the Oregon Ducks. At this point, this might be a lost cause. So the 10th and final Heisman of this sim is going to be a quarterback from Bama, 4,700 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, and a 76% completion percentage. That's nuts. And at least Oklahoma has not let us down, boys. They are indeed in the CFP. Duke is back as well with a first-round bye. And if Oklahoma wins twice, they can possibly have to play them boys. And Oklahoma finds themselves in the Final Four here in the last season. They bump off TCU. They bump off Ohio State. Duke actually loses by 1 to USC. So we got a Lincoln Riley Bowl of USC, Oklahoma. On the other side, we got Auburn taking on NC State. So 17-all in this Final Four game. Oklahoma on their own 25-yard line. They do have all 3 timeouts. What a run. First play of the drive. They're going to use that first timeout, and that's 87 yards on the ground for Boger. And Oklahoma is probably just a few pass plays away, a few chunk plays away from putting points to the board. They run it again, but this time it is stopped at the line. I really hate that super safe play call there. Now they're back passing. Quarterback's looking, surveying, taking a shot downfield, and that's picked off by USC. If they return this can be ball game, but the quarterback gets in there, gets his nose dirty, and he makes a tackle. Oklahoma gets ball first here in the first OT, and they're trying to punch it into the end zone here. I mean, it's been a great game. It's one of the better games we've had so far here in this sim. All right, 2nd and 9 here for Oklahoma. They go to RPO. It's a decent play call. They do pick up 6. That's going to make the 3rd down very manageable. 3rd and 3 here. I'm an aggressive coach. Even if I don't get this 3rd and 3, I might still go for it. I want more than points. I want to punch it into the end zone. Maybe that's why I'm not a coach. They go to the play action. Big time sack. Now you definitely have to take the 3. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Oklahoma takes the lead. So USC 2nd and 2 here, boys, and they're trying to win this ball game. Touchdown wins this game for the Trojans, and this would be a nice way for them to cap off this sim. Back to pass. He hits the running back out of the backfield. He spins. He's brought down at the 10. Here's the 1st and 10. USC can still get a first down here, boys, but they're definitely looking to get in the end zone. They go to RPO, and that just might be the ball game. USC's in the end zone, and they're going to win the chip here in season. I'm sorry, they just punched their ticket to the championship here in season number 10, and ChatGPT is officially 1-9 here in their predictions. So the final matchup we get here in the CFP championship, Auburn, USC. I'm not even sure who to put my money on in this ball game, but hopefully we can get a nice, good game as we head out. USC finds themselves in overtime once again. Starting off with the rock first here this time versus Auburn. They're going to go to play action. They hit somebody out of the backfield, and he's going to pick up 5. Can USC come out on top once again in their 2nd straight OT game here in the CFP? They pick up the blitz easy, but it's going to be picked off. Auburn picks it off. So Auburn has all but won this game, boys. They really just need to take 3. Naturally, they're going to actually run their plays and everything like that and try to score a touchdown. Quarterback flush out of the pocket. He checks it down immediately, and that's going to be just a 3-yard pickup. Josh McGuire, the quarterback for Auburn, has been playing extremely well today. 2 touchdowns, no picks, over 300 yards. I mean, he's slinging the thing all over the field. He hands it off to 28 here, and that play is going nowhere. Now on the left hash here, Auburn trying to make something shake. I just hope they don't do anything crazy like throw an interception. I want to see the team play extremely smart. They go with a quick pass over the middle, and he doesn't get the first down, 4th and inches. The field goal team comes out for Auburn. USC is going to try to ice them, and this is for the Natty boys. Here we go. Holds good, kick is up, kick is good, and the Auburn Tigers are going to be your champs here in season number 10. I mean, we got great games here today, boys. Great games here today. Some very unlikely teams that are out here killing it. Duke won more natties than anybody here. They played in more natties than anybody here. They absolutely dominated the college football playoff. Hell, they definitely must have dominated the ACC. So ChatGPT goes 1-9 in their prediction, boys. I didn't think that they could do this bad and that they would be that far off, but that is the beauty of college football and what makes us love the sport. Hopefully we can get a better outcome next time, man. Y'all boys let me know down in the comment section below what you want me to ask ChatGPT next. We'll go ahead, sim through it, and get it done. Once again, I want to give a special shout out to EA for giving me a chance to capture this footage early. And do remember, this build is a work in progress. I'm holla at y'all. Peace.